जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना। यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना। यमुनतीरावनचारी। यमुनतीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी। जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना। यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना। यमुनतीरावनचारी। यमुनतीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी। जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना। यमुनतीरावनचारी। राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ya Radha Syama Sundaradha Syama Sundarade. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Gaur Pramanande Hari Hari Gaur. Devam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Purviraj Kacharya Astotra Sata Srimati Dhruvangesh Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Devam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Purviraj Kacharya Astotra Sata Srimati Dhruvangesh Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय। नमाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगमय यमुनमयी की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। तथा गो प्रेमानंद हरि बोल। All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories, all glories. Shri Guru and Gaur and Ganesha Gopal Jai. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishtaye Bhutare Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Ram Namaste Saraswade Gauravani Pracharani Visesha Sunnavadi Pachatya Sthan Gopal Jai. Thank you all for joining. So we are reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, verse number 30, which is connected with Prahlad Maharaj. I think you see in the picture, Lord Narasimha is there, Prahlad is there on the side. So Prahlad Maharaj's name is there in this verse, verse number 30. Any one of you know this verse? Rachit, Deva, any one of you learned this verse? Chapter 10, verse number 30. I'll tell you the first line. Prahlad Chasmi Daityana. You know, you remember? No? Easy verse to remember. We will begin. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayat Nasta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhojanestiki Hari Om Tat Sat. Chapter 10, Opulence of the Absolute. We are reading from, I think, fifth section. Yeah, the last section of this chapter. Verse number 30 means we covered last week till 25, but today being special topic connected to verse number 30, so we're reading from verse 30. Prahladaschasmi daityanam kala kalayatamaham mruganam cha mrugendroham vainateyascha pakshinam प्रह्लादश्चास्मि दैत्यानां कलयतामहम् मृगाणां च मृगेन्द्रोऽहम् वैनतेयश्च पक्षिणाम् प्रह्लादश्चास्मि दैत्यानां कलयतामहम् मृगाणां च मृगेन्द्रोऽहम् वैनतेयश्च पक्षिणाम्. Word to word, Prahlada. That means Prakrusta Rupena Ahlada. So is everything about him is auspicious and great ecstatic bliss he will give. Anytime we hear, we know, we of his character or pastimes, activities, anything. So that is the character of this best of the best devotees. Cha also Asmi, I am Daityaram of the demons, Kala, time, Kalayatam. I'm not able to read this. Of subduers, Aham, I am, Mruganam, of animals, Cha, and Mrugendra, the lion, Aham, I am, Vainateya, Garuda, Cha, also, Pakshinam, of birds. Very interestingly, all of these characters are connected. This verse, Vyasadeva is so expert in it, combined all of them. They are all opulence of the Supreme Lord. But they are all connected in this verse. Among the Daitya, translation by Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta and Shubhapad Vijay. Among the Daitya demons, I am the devoted Prahlad. Among subduers, I am time. Among beasts, I am the lion. And among birds, I am Garuda. Please repeat. Among the Daitya demons, I am the devoted Prahlad. Among subduers, I am time. Among beasts, I am the lion. Among the birds, I am Garuda. So we'll try to understand. I forgot the book of the Narasimha past tense book. There is a special book on Narasimha past tense. No, the small book. So I don't think anybody has. That is from Mayapur I brought. But anyways, we'll yeah, try to understand after the prayers to the spiritual masters. Om Jnana Timrandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmiritam Mena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yatkrupatamaham vande Sri Gurum Devataran Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanyeswaram Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhaya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Shri Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktam ki jai. Who is that? She is already excited before even hearing. You want to hear about Prahlad Maharaj? Or we need to hear about you? Which one you want to do? Okay, good. Right now. So today we are speaking here in this verse, Prahladascha Daityanam Kala Kalayatamaham Mruganam cha Mrugendroham Vainateyascha Pakshinam. So first one is talking about just this verse will describe briefly and we'll try to understand about Prahlad Maharaj. So here this verse is speaking about the absolute opulence of the absolute. So Lord Krishna has many opulences. In the 9th chapter, Krishna is speaking how one can remember Krishna by thinking of him, by worshipping him, by offering obeisances to him, by becoming his devotee. Manmanava madbhakto madhyadhimam namaskuru mame vaisasati pratijane priyosme. Then the 9th chapter, last verse. Then Arjuna asked, how can I remember you? How can I think of you? How can I become your devotee? So this is not a natural practice. We are not able to do this. So then Lord Krishna started explaining, my opulence are so innumerable, I can't count, but I will just give a glimpse of it. So from verse number 19 to 42, Lord Krishna is describing various opulences. Basically, Arjuna's question is, in this material world, I may not know what is there in the spiritual world about your form and activities, but in this material day to day, how we can remember you? So that's why Lord Krishna is specifically speaking. As soon as you hear various different living entities, from human beings, from aquatics, from all kinds of living entities, from different types of living entities, from aquatics to birds to animals to human beings to demigods to sages to so birds, all different species. So that as soon as you see sun, moon, that you will immediately think that this is empowered by the Supreme Lord. In that way, you immediately remember. If you taste the water, it is Krishna. So, like that. So, in this verse specifically, Lord Krishna is speaking, Prahlad Jasmi Daityam. Out of demons, I am Prahlad. So because Prahlad became a great devotee because of my empowerment. So that's why you can immediately think that unless I empower somebody, he cannot become great as Prahlad Maharaj. Uh, so next, Krishna is speaking, Kala Kalayatamaham. I am the one who doesn't want to follow or doesn't want to have any faith in Supreme Lord. He wants to be atheist. Doesn't want to believe anything about God. Then for him, he is the subduer of time, just like the demons. In this case, Hiranyakasipu. I was thinking, I am the master, I am the Jagadishwar. So there is no Jagadishwar than me. So everybody should worship me. Everybody is chanting at that time Hiranyakasipu's name. So that's what he wanted to do. So many times everybody in this today's world, in corporate world, also in this today's world, everybody wants to uh, should chant, glorify their names. They should be in the center. Everybody should talk about them, glorify them, put them, put a message in the Facebook everywhere. That's what people want. They want to be glorified. But Hiranyakasipu is also of the same character. So why you are chanting Vishnu's names? Rather, you should. I am the Lord. Where is Lord Vishnu? So show me. That's what is coming up in the past time. So that's why Krishna is specifically talking about one who defies the order of the Lord, one who defies authority. So whether he believe it or not believe at the time of death, he'll have to know that I am the time. So you have no control whatsoever on your own. So however great you may be in this material world, but you have to pass this time in the at the time of death. So that's what in this line Krishna is speaking. Especially Hiranyakasipu. These are all connected. All four lines are connected to Prahlad Maharaj pastime. Mruganam cha Mrugendroham. So out of all the animals, lion is the ferocious. Lion is the king. Like the out of all the fruits, king of fruits is mango. So Prabhupada mentioned. So because mango is tasty, mango is colorful, mango is and bhakti is compared with mango. We're all right now green mango. So more we become mature and mature and mature, we become one day we become ripe mango. So we have some sparks in us to devotion to the Lord. So gradually, if we fan that spark, so this green mango will become nice, ripe, juicy mango, sweet, relishable. So that's what this bhakti is all about: relishable, loving exchanges. And speaking of that, I remember today. Today is sixth day of Chandan Yatra. Chandan Yatra. Today's pastime is also very interesting, very beautiful. So one day when Lord Krishna is performing dance with gopis, uh, then they became thirsty. So then they asked Lord Krishna because he is the greatest dancer. Syamam Hiranya Paridhi Vanamalya Parha Dhatu Prabal Natavesam Anuvratamsi Vinyasta Hastam Itarena Duna Abjam Kamalotpala Alaka Nabjahasam. So Lord Krishna has been described by the Brahmana Patnis, Dvija Patnis, the beauty of Lord Krishna as Syamam Hiranya Paridhi, how he is in wearing the peacock feather and is having the golden complex, the dress, the yellow dhoti, pitambar, Syamam Hiranya Paridhi, blackish blue, but he's also wearing this golden color dhoti. Hiranyaparadi Vanamalya Barha is Vanamalya Barha Dhatu Praval, and he's also wearing the colored mineral stones, various mineral stones available in the in that garden of Vrindavan. Is wearing that, and also birds. And he's also putting his one hand on the on his cowherd boyfriend's Vinyasta Hastam Vitarena Dunab Jahasam, and on another hand, he is twirling a lotus. And then Natavesam Anuvratams. He is a dancer, three bended form. Krishna is so here also is Lord Krishna is dancing with the gopis. Then he is also having in his ears he has lily flowers. So in this way, and his face is very smiling. Dunan of Jahasam. So Prahlad Maharaj is also always smiling. So is all about his bliss, concentrated bliss, inside, outside, every all his bodily parts, his senses, everything is so blissful. Prahlad Maharaj, that's why he's not afraid at all. So many angles of vision we'll see in Narasimha's pastime. So in this way, Lord Krishna's beauty is described with the gopis of Vrindavan in so many different verses. So where in this Chandana Yatra sixth day, Lord Krishna is dancing with the gopis, and gopis became very thirsty. And then they asked Lord Krishna, "You are the protector, you are the shelter for all of us. So you have to somehow or the other. Yamuna is so far, we can't go. So you get us water." Then Lord Krishna immediately, in another verse also we see that in Lord Brahma's prayers, Kavalavetra Vishala Venu Mrudupade Pasupanga Jaya. There, how Lord is always carrying a flute, he is also carrying a cohort stick, which he can use to play also, and he is also having a bugle. So all these things he's carrying. So in this case, the Lord immediately took the stick, covered stick, and he just hit the ground. Then immediately Ganga has come from that digging, from that just hitting with the stick into the ground. Then Ganga started flowing. Then all the gopis took the water and they entered into the water. So this is one of the beautiful pastime on Chandanayatra 6. There is also another pastime connected to, and both festival happens. This is in India, obviously. Here it's a little bit cold. At least in New Jersey, it's constantly changing weather. But in other areas, but in India specifically, it is hot now. Summer just starting, it's very hot. So one special pastime is also such that Pandavas went to Pandavas has finished their 13 years of exile, 12 years of Aranyavas and 1 year of Agnatavas. So at the 13th year, Pandavas such a great devotees of the Lord to such that they are not even counting when somebody is being put into distress or in a maybe prison or something. Is generally they count when this will disease will go away, when this distress will go away. But in Pandava's case, they are not even counting that when the days are going to end. They are not even aware that 13 years is over. The Aranyavas, they are in the Virata kingdom. They are hiding. They are taking different roles as servants under Virata's kingdom. So at that time, then, but they are always thinking, remembering Krishna. That's why they are not able to think how much distress they are going through. They are not able to think their Agnatavas is finished. They are not even remembering that. They are constantly thinking about Lord Krishna. So that's why they are able to do that. So at that time, they are always guided by the Brahmanas. The Daumya is one of the priest, Pujari, or the Brahmana who is guiding them from the beginning. So Daumya is asking, the Daumya said, "O Pandavas, your time is over. Agnata Vas is over. Now we can get back to your previous positions. You don't need to hide anymore. Your time is over." So that time, so they have revealed their positions. Then Virata got to know that they are Pandavas. Then immediately, how can you take and do this? How can you do the servant positions? Such a low position, such a great Pandavas, you're great devotees of the Lord. Immediately, then they told they are going to leave. Then they told, no, no, you can't leave. You have to stay in this kingdom. Not only that, you have to bring Krishna and Balaram. I need to see Krishna and Balram. You can do it because you are great devotees. By your order, your request, Lord will come. I am not a devotee to bring Lord here. So by that request, and the Pandavas requested, then Lord has come. But then they instructed King Virata. It is now very hot and summer. The best way to please, best way to serve the Lord is to arrange a situation such that it is nice and cooling, so that Lord can have pleasant and pleasing atmosphere. So that time, King Virata has arranged nice, big lake with boats, one for Krishna and Balram and covered boys, and one boat for the Pandavas also. Then they brought Lord Krishna and Balram came. This is the first, you can say maybe first or so, or boat festival. So the other festival and also Chandana Yatra also happened, I think, at this past time, where then Krishna Balram came and they were sitting in boat. They are performing their water pastimes. Then Pandavas also has been requested. Lord has requested you also need to sit on. So then they arranged another boat, and then Pandavas also sat there, and then they performed this boat pastime. So that's why you'll see in Vrindavan, if you look at Vrindavan Iskon temple, they performing the boat Nauka Vihar. Obviously, Radha and Krishna's pastimes are also there, Nauka Vihar. There is also pastime in Mayapur, also in most of the in India Iskon temples, they perform this boat festival, beautiful boat festival where Radha and Krishna deities are taken on the boat for a ride, and they mm, perform various pujas and various offerings are done. So in this way, you can see that this is a very important period of Chandan Yatra and boat festival. Many pastimes are there. Jagannath temple has various alankars throughout this Chandan Yatra, many other pastimes. Just to give how much broad this bhakti and loving exchanges between devotees and the Lord happens through various festivals. Coming back to this verse, Mruganam to Mrugendroham. So, Lord is here, lion. The top, he's the lion is the king of the animals. So, why it is compared here in this verse is because Prahlad's Lord is Narsingadev. Narsingadev means is half man, half lion. Hiranyakasipu has asked for a specific benediction. That's why Lord appeared as a lion, half man and half lion. So, that is also connected in this verse. And the last one is Vayanatescha Pakshina. So, this is Garuda. Venata's son, that's why Vainataya, Pakshinam Garuda. This is also connected because why Lord Narasimha appeared. To that reason, this also Garuda is also connected. There's the pastime, but before that, we'll first begin with Prahlad Maharaj's pastime. Why did Prahlad Maharaj asking Lord Narasimha, what's happening here? Both of you do in the school like this in front of your teacher? Sometimes, then you'll get minus marks. We'll see in Prahlad Maharaj how Prahlad Maharaj behaved. You have to learn a lot of lessons to be learned from this pastime. So that's why you have to pay attention. Yeah? Yes? You want to go and play or you want to hear? Oh, no. Hold on. They have to decide. Play. Whole day you are playing. This is what time is it? It's 8:18. This is not the time to play. Yeah. Time to sleep, not time to sleep either. None of you sleep at this time. I know. So let's hear sometime. Then after that you can do whatever you want. Half an hour. Okay. So pay attention. Yes. If you listen, then you know what you are supposed to do, what you are not supposed to do, how you should behave. Rachit and Co. You have to pay attention. Yeah. So Prahlad Maharaj here. Prahlad Maharaj pastime. How did Prahlad Maharaj become Prahlad Maharaj? What was the previous life? So Prahlad Maharaj is asking Lord Narasimha, how did I become in Brahad Narasimha Puran and also Hari Bhakta Vilas number 14. Prahlad Maharaj himself is asking Lord Narasimha, how did I become your devotee? Then Lord Narasimha himself is telling, in the previous life, your name was Vasudeva and your father's name was Vasu Sharma. But you are attracted to a prostitute. You are a son of a great Brahmana, but you are attracted to a prostitute. And but you have done one great merit. You have done one great merit. So that's why you became a devotee. Then Prahlad was asking, what is that? And how did I do that? Then Lord Narsinghdev started explaining about this. Vasu Sharma had five sons. Vasu Sharma, his wife was very austere and her performance very chaste. All the demigods were pleased with her service. Always very devotedly serving her husband Vasu Sharma, and Vasu Sharma is also great Brahmana, always studying Shastra and performing sacrifices, following the religious principles, Brahminical culture completely, following all the principles. So that's why they are able to satisfy the demigod, they are able to satisfy the devotees of the Lord, they are able to satisfy the devotees. So, but out of five sons, only one of them, this is the youngest, Prahlad Maharaj, Vasudeva, didn't follow. So, even though he was pious, but in the pious family he was born, but somehow or the other he was attracted to the prostitute. He was staying in her house only. He was not doing anything else because attached to the prostitute. But one day they made a quarrel, both of them. They didn't sleep, they didn't eat anything, so whole night. So that day happened to be Lord Narsingh Dev's appearance day. So, so that was the first time. Not only that, they stayed where they stayed in the house. This is in Vishnu Puran, the another Puran. It is mentioned that wherever they stayed, that house they were cleaning in that place. So yeah, unknowingly, they don't know anything about that place. That is the nursing Chaturdasi, that specific the 14th day of the month. As per Swati Nakshatra is the nakshatra when Lord Narsingh Dev is born. It's very, very prominent. Especially if it comes on Tuesday, there is specific characteristics about this Narsingh Chaturthi. More it becomes auspicious. There is particular nakshatra, particular lagna, particular day. It's very, very, very more auspicious. And, this time it is Thursday, it's not Tuesday. That nakshatra also, I don't think it is happening in that lagna also, but still it is very auspicious still on Narsingh Chaturdashi. So in this way, Lord Narsingh Dev told Prahlad Maharaj, because he has performed on Narsingh Chaturdashi, fasting until next day morning without knowing, and he has performed some service on that day. So that's how he became great devotee in the next life. He has born as a son of Hiranyakashipu and Kayadu. Within the womb of Kayadu, Prahlad Maharaj was there at the time, and all the demigods were taking. Hiranyakashipu went to perform austerities, and Lord Narasimha, Hiranyakashipu went to perform austerities. At this time, demigods were all under the because of Hiranyakashipu's power, all the demons, all the demigods ran away. They couldn't. They couldn't win against obviously demons. Hiranyakashipu was so strong. So then, when Hiranyakashipu went to perform austerities to get more boons to become the controller of this world, to become immortal, so that time these demigods took the power, took the in charge. All they controlled all the demons, so they were all less powerful than Hiranyakashipu, obviously. Then they took Kayadu, and seeing Kayadu being pregnant, then they thought this is going to be another great demon. Already we have a problem with Hiranyakashipu. Now another demon, we can't have it. So they were ready to kill. And then that time Narada Muni comes and stops these demigods, especially Indra. They tell Indra not to do that because he's a great devotee. Because Narada Muni has uttered a word that he's going to be a great devotee, and Narada Muni has given his blessings, Narada Muni has glanced. So then, by that mercy, Prahlad Maharaj, who's in the womb of Kayadu, and then not only that, Narada Muni took Kayadu to the ashram and he started giving instructions. So that's how Narada Muni started giving instructions to the Kayadu, but Kayadu didn't remember anything, not even one instruction. But Prahlad Maharaj being in the womb, because he was already having that previous life's Bhakti Unmukha Sukruti, and now in this life, Narada Muni has given greatest instructions about the process of Bhakti, about transcendental knowledge. So, so that because of that, is pure devotees mercy, association of pure devotees, by the glance of Narada Muni, then immediately the who's there in the womb got the greatest benedictions of a pure devotee of the Lord Narada Muni, and he became a great devotee. He remembered everything. Whatever Prahlad Maharaj has received from Narada Muni, he remembered every instruction. So, with rapt attention, because of that Ajnata Sukritya received by performing Narsingha Chaturdasi. In the previous life, even though he was attracted, he had so many sinful activities committed, but because of just doing one important devotional activity of Narsingha Chaturdasi, he became Prahlad Maharaj in the next life. So that is the previous history of Prahlad Maharaj. Now, in this pastime, when Prahlad Maharaj born, be quiet, please. Otherwise, difficult to narrate. So, Prahlad Maharaj, at 5 years old, when he was 5 years old, he was instructing his schoolmates. So, the first instruction we are seeing that how to behave, how to be cultured human being. Prahlad Maharaj, at 5 years old, he is associating with, he is in the Sanda and Amarka school, who are the teachers of the demoniac schoolmates. School. Then all the schoolmates are there, also same age. But Prahlad Maharaj, instead of, even though he is not revolting, how to behave in a school, how to behave. His first lesson we are getting from Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj was not revolting, he was listening peacefully, he was not agitated, but rather when the teachers went out for a, um, in a break, so that time Prahlad Maharaj started giving instruction to the schoolmates. So he started talking about what he has learned in the womb of his mother, Kayadu, what Narada Muni has spoke about process of bhakti, how it is, how important it is. So that instruction here is how to give association of our association to others, not take others' association, others' activities into our life. So, especially all of you, younger kids, you have to learn this important aspect when you go to the high school, middle school, and further into college, universities. You have to be very, very careful how to give your association to others, but not to take others' association. Which means if somebody is performing which is not of the line, which is not of the in line with Shastra or Sadhu or Guru, which means any religious activities, any bad activities, anything of smoking, drinking, whatnot, all those things. You see it, you observe it, but not take into, not associate with them intimately, especially. You may not avoid it because they may be in the college, they may be in the school, they may invite you to parties. But you shouldn't take their association. Rather, you have to give your association to them. Like Prahlad Maharaj is giving his association. He didn't become a demon. Even though he was the son of a demon, but he became a great devotee because none of those instructions, none of those characteristics or atrocities these demons were performing. He didn't take anything inside his heart. He was not even agitated. He was not even feeling distressed. He's always so blissful because he has received the association of Narada Muni. He has heard the instructions. He has taken very carefully into the heart. So that is another instruction is you have to be very, very submissive to your teacher. Not only your teacher, also to your father, your parents. One who is defying the instruction of his father, one who is talking back to their parents, is not a good idea. Because many times when the parents stop giving the blessings to their kids, it stops them in their progress, especially in a proper culture. It is not a, it is very, very important. Here, Prahlad Maharaj, even though he was his father, Hiranyakashipu was teaching, Hiranyakashipu was very, very angry. He was telling, how come you are always talking about Lord Vishnu, you are chanting his name. He is not Jagadishwar, I am the Jagadishwar, you should chant Hiranyakashipu, my name. He was chastising him like anything. He was asking questions, where did you learn? Why are you doing this? How did you born in my home, in my family? So all kind of, but Prahlad Maharaj was not agitated. He's not talking back. Rather, you're telling Asura Varya Devina, oh, my demoniac father, because he likes to be called as Asura, Asura number one. So that's why he's calling very politely. So, conversing with his father, how to deal with his father. To the extent that even at the end, when Lord Narasimha appeared, that time also Prahlad Maharaj rather asking forgiveness of his father who has committed so many sinful activities to Lord Narasimha. He is not angry with his father. But in today's world, we see opposite completely. How the children are not following parents' instructions. Children are not taking care of the parents when they are old. So when they become grown up, they become independent. They not serving their parents. This is not the culture we are learning from Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj always served, even though his father was demoniac, his father was against the principles of Shastra, but he always be became a cultured devotee, cultured human being. Prahlad Maharaj teaching so many lessons from so many different angles. So Prahlad Maharaj taught to these demoniac school friends how to utilize the form of human life. Kaumaram acharayat pragno dharman bhagavatam tad adruvam apiha loke. This human life is temporary. We should start engaging in devotion service at 5 years old. It's not that I will, when I become old, I will think about Krishna. I will think about engaging in some devotion service. Say, let me enjoy nicely. No, that's not what Prahlad Maharaj instructed. Rather, he's giving how much in human life we waste half of the time with sleeping, half of the time in engaging in household activities, half of the time working. So hardly any time left to think about the Lord. So then our time is finished, and death will come, and then we have to take again another body. So this is going on in human life also. So you have to be very careful, attentive to the details. You have to have inquisitiveness to understand what is the goal of human life. So Prahlad Maharaj is teaching when he was 5 years old. You can imagine how much he has received the mercy of another instruction also, that the whole pastime of Prahlad Maharaj. Why did Hiranyakashipu appeared? Why did Prahlad Maharaj got so much benedictions? So there is Mahat Kopat and Mahat Anugrahat. Many parallels are there on this point. When Prahlad Maharaj is in the womb of Mother Kayadu, Narada Muni has given blessings to Prahlad Maharaj. This is Mahat Anugrahat. But at the same time, when Jaya Vijaya in the spiritual world, when four Kumaras walked in, as entering into the spiritual world, Vaikuntha Dwar, then Jaya Vijaya became angry, obstructed the pure devotees of the Lord four Kumaras in entering into Vaikuntha. So then they cursed, four Kumaras cursed. This is Mahat Kopat. So during Lord Narasimha, this pastime, this whole pastime, this is also another instruction is how not to, how to be careful in behaving. That's why I said, you know, even with our one's parents, always we should be looking to receive blessings from the parents. That means we should behave in a proper culture. We should not be talking back. We should be try to listen, take positive instruction. If you don't like it, leave it. But don't try to argue and fight. This is not the culture we are learning from Prahlad Maharaj. How to be behave properly. It's very, very important. Rather, it becomes Mahat Kopat. To that extent that teacher, especially if he is a spiritual master, spiritual teacher, one who becomes instructing a spiritual teacher, one who becomes offensive to a spiritual teacher, one who becomes angry at spiritual teacher. Not only spiritual life is stopped, even the material life gets affected. His money, his duration of life, his opulence, his beauty, everything will be dwindled, destroyed by becoming offensive to the spiritual teacher, especially such an exalted personality as Prahlad Maharaj. In the case of Hiranyakashipu, became so angry, that's why Lord Narasimha had to appear. In the same case with Jaya Vijaya became angry at four Kumaras and obstructed them. Then four Kumaras cursed Jaya Vijaya, that's how Hiranyakashipu won. So in one instance, Prahlad Maharaj received Mahat Anugrahat. In another instance, you see Mahat Kopat by the four Kumaras angry Jaya Vijaya. Then they became demons, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. And the same similar instance we see in Chaitanya Charitamrita and Gaur Lila, where uh, there is a great personality, Sri Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri had two disciples. One is Ishwar Puri and another one is Ramachandra Puri. Uh, one of them when Madhavendra Puri was old. Madhavendra Puri is the personality where from him started giving the loving devotion service at the highest level. Exchanging the love, pure love of God has been given. Until that point, it is only master servant or Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya. But Madhurya, the highest rasa, was not given before. But that's why it's called trunk of devotion service, Madhavendra Puri onwards. So Madhavendra Puri was such an exalted spiritual. He's always remembering, thinking of Krishna. He's not even um, eating, sleeping. He's completely, always, every day, he was remembering Krishna 24/7. That was his situation. He's at the old age, he was crying, where is Krishna? I didn't attain shelter of Krishna. I didn't attain the shelter of Mathura. He was crying like that. Iswarpuri, when he is not able to even go to the, pass urine and stool. So that time Iswarpuri served. He was cleaning everything and he was chanting. He was talking about Krishna's pastime. He was helping his spiritual master. But in the case of that is Mahad Anugraha, the Iswarpuri received. But in the case of Ramachandra Puri, has received Mahat Kopad to the extent that this is also very important instruction. Why the fruitive mentality and activity? In general, we have committed sinful activities, that enjoyment mentality is there. But more than that, when you become offensive, when you start, yeah, when you are offensive, make offenses against the spiritual master or great devotees of the Lord, then uh, this fruitive activity mentality will start developing in our heart. Karma vasana. This whole seventh canto Srimad Bhagavat, where this pastime is described, this whole pastime, this canto 7 is talking about utaya. Utaya means fruitive proclivity to enjoy separately from the Lord. This mentality is there. This Kama, Lobha, Mada, Moha, Matsari, these six Arishad Vargas, all those are germinated when, especially more it gets, not only that, it goes to an extent to criticize the devotees of the Lord, even to criticize the Lord itself. In this case of Ramachandra Puri, because he became inimical, he started instructing his spiritual master Madhavendra Puri. He was telling Madhavendra Puri, why are you crying? You are supposed to think of Brahman, impersonal effulgence. He was instructing, started instructing. Then Madhavendra Puri became so angry. Then immediately chastised him, get out from this place. If I see you in front of me and die like that, then it will not be auspicious for me at all. Get out from here. Don't show your face to me again. So that was that much he took as the greatest offense, because you are not one supposed to, even though disciple not supposed to instruct a spiritual master. One should be very, very careful. So then in Ramachandra Puri has received Mahat Kopat, but Ishwara Puri has received Mahat Anugraha. So that's why one must be very, very careful, as I was mentioning. With parents, with even material teachers also, you always see one who is submissive to a teacher always learns, because teacher will look after that student, whether he's learning or not, where is he lacking, how can I improve him, how can I help him to make a nice student, better student in whatever the subject. If he is not submissive, obviously he will not teach. He will not teach to the extent he needs. And he will not give much blessings either. So that's why one must be very submissive to the parent, to the material teacher, and more so with the spiritual teacher. We have to be very alert, very cautious, and very submissive. Then only we can learn. Otherwise, there is no possibility of learning, because unless one who is recognized by a devotee of the Lord, unless one is even glancing, when a devotee glances, it is mentioned by Prahlad Maharaj, by Narada Muni's glance, by moments of association, by the glance of the pure devotee, one's life can be changed. And so Prabhupada's examples also so many are there. Prabhupada, one is even so simple, but he just came, but Prabhupada prayed for him. Prabhupada has given, Prabhupada glanced on him, and he became slowly and gradually became a great devotee. He started translating books, even though he was not qualified in anything. But because of pure devotee's glance, pure devotee's prayers, then that person also can become a great devotee. So this is the quality of a pure devotee, how much is compassionate. That is another instruction also we are getting from Prahlad Maharaj. How to not put any living entity in pain, not to give pain to anybody. Prahlad Maharaj is teaching that from childhood. He didn't give pain to these demoniac schoolmates. When Sanda and Amarka was talking about, hey, how come you are become a devotee of Vishnu? Your father is going to chastise us. We are the teachers. We never taught you this. Where did you learn this? But Prahlad Maharaj was very peaceful. Yes, I learned this from you. None of you taught me, but I learned it from my spiritual master. So Prahlad Maharaj very peaceful. Never at any time he was aggravated. He was not agitated. He was very tolerant. He was very peaceful throughout his life. Where did he get? Because all the blessings he got from Narada from his spiritual master. So that's why we have to be uh, learn this culture, learn this transcendental science from Prahlad Maharaj. How to be compassionate, how to serve others, how to not give pain to any living entity. Even though others may give pain, but we shouldn't be giving pain because others are doing, and I will also be reactive. No, we should not be reactive. We should think twice before you give pain to any living entity. So many angles are there in Prahlad Maharaj's pastime. So anyways, in this place, as I was explaining, Ishwar Puri, Ramachandra Puri, because of Mahat Kopat, to such an extent that not only he has been thrown out by his spiritual master, his spiritual life has stopped, stand still. Not only that, then he went to, but Ishwar Puri, by his blessings, Madhavendra Puri gave blessing. You are going to become a great devotee of the Lord. You will become develop love of Lord. From that point onwards, Yeshwar Puri developed such a love that he is constantly absorbed in chanting, constantly absorbed in ecstasy. Ecstatic symptoms are coming for him because of the spiritual master's blessing, especially such exalt Mahabhagavat. But in Ramachandra Puri's case, because of his Mahat Kopa, then Ramachandra Puri became so critical. He started criticizing. So one kind of reaction is Mahat Kopa reaction is one becomes one germinates this fruitive mentality, enjoyment mentality separately from the Lord. But even worse than that, to the severe reaction one may get, the worse than that is started criticizing devotees. And this is the worst because minute somebody criticizes devotee, then the Lord will never like it. The Lord will be immediately, the reaction will be severe and reaction also will be very quick. So that's what happened in Ramachandra Puri. Immediately, not much delay was there. So Ramachandra Puri started criticizing devotees to such an extent that he went and started criticizing, including Lord Krishna himself. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he started criticizing his eating, his everything. He started criticizing. You are a sannyasi, how can you eat this much? So this is the effect result when one is not properly cultured, when one is not properly receiving and being submissive, being not being receptive to a spiritual master, especially if you are being a disciple, especially if you are initiated devotee, is even more so. We have to be very very careful how to be submissive, how to be receptive, not instruct spiritual master, not yeah, we have to be very careful. Otherwise, the result will be like this. There are similar pastimes. We will see that in as I was telling Garuda, Vainataya, as I was telling. Garuda is a pure devotee of the Lord. He is a carrier of the Lord Vishnu. He is not ordinary conditioned soul. When Saubhari Muni is a great yogi, he was performing severe austerities in the sitting in underneath the ocean. Is performing meditation. That's what he is doing. When Garuda went to eat fish, obviously he's a bird that is natural to him, but he's not ordinary bird though. So Garuda has so much powerful, so he's carrying the Lord. So that time Saubhari Muni thought, who is this? Garuda is just a bird. Then Saubhari Muni stopped Garuda from eating, prohibiting, obstructing a devotee from his devotion service. Then again, Mahat Kopat, the reaction will be severe. So Saubhari Muni has done that. Obviously, Garuda didn't say anything. Garuda went back. When the Saubhari Muni did that obstruction, Prabhupada talks about in the purport in the Canto 8, Canto 9, Canto 9, one of the chapter. Saubhari Muni's chapter is there. In that chapter, quoting Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Acharya's commentary. When one obstructs a devotee from devotion service, then his reactions will be severe. So in Saubhari Muni's case, immediately he was attracted by the male and female fish union he saw. Till that time he didn't, but immediately started germinating because he has obstructed. He became offensive to a devotee, pure devotee as per Garuda. So in the case of Saubhari Muni, immediately got into that. Then he came out from the water and he married. Mandata had 50 daughters. He married all the 50. None of them wanted to marry him because he's so old. He has so much beard, ugly looking. Nobody wanted to marry. Then king told you, if they want to marry, then you can marry them. Yeah, but I cannot force them. Then he used all his mystic powers. He became a greatest, beautiful person. And then immediately all of them want to marry. So all 50 daughters of Mandata married Sobramuni. Then when he was after enjoying so much, so long, then he realized what kind of mistake I have done. I wasted my life. Then he realized, Sobramuni realized all the way, so many years and years he realized. So this will be the effect of obstructing or becoming offensive to a devotee, especially if he is a Mahabhagavat, is a pure devotee of the Lord, the reaction will be more severe and very, very quick. Immediate reactions will be there. So that's why we have to be very, very careful. So in the case of Prahlad Maharaj also, the other pastimes also, the third pastime also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and when he came to the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is a scholar. Scholar is in charge for Jagannath Puri temple. He was a great devotee of Lord Jagannath. So when he invited Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for a meal, he cooked a lot of items, him and his wife, Satir Mata. But his Jamat, son-in-law, I think, his wife's 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 no, wife's Jamat means, yeah, son-in-law. So in this son-in-law Amog, his name is Amoga. Damad, yeah, Jamal or Damad, yeah, son-in-law. So in the case of this, so Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he knowing this son-in-law was very much offensive. He was a son of Brahmana, but he was very offensive. As soon as something is used for the Lord or for devotees, he has a problem. He has a problem. He has a tendency greedy. He doesn't want. He wants to utilize everything for him, but he doesn't want to give a penny for any devotees. He doesn't want to spend. He doesn't want to give anything. So whenever Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya used to do, then he has a problem. He used to say something. So that's why he put him outside. Not only that, he has a stick in his hand. If he is going to come, I am going to beat him today and make him run away. So that's why he was planned like that. But he invited Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for a meal. And while he was serving, then somehow or the other, this Amoga somehow or the other came inside. And inside, and he saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was eating so much. And you are a sannyasi, how can you are eating 12 or 20 people's food? Then he said that. Then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya became so angry, and even Sachiramath also immediately said, so they became so morose and so distressed, and they were started crying because such an offensive inviting a guest, especially Lord Krishna himself, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and being making offensive. When you invite a guest, even if somebody is an enemy in our home, comes to as a guest, then you have to treat him as a guest. You cannot be enemy because then the reaction is also there. In the fifth canto, there's the last chapter, 26 hells. There, every type of description is given. What kind of reactions will be there? Where in hell we will be taken if you perform certain things. And this is also there. When you invite a guest and you don't properly serve, that also is there in that. Where the reaction, how, what kind of reaction one will be given. So that's why we have to be careful. We think we are enjoying, everything is okay. No, everything is not okay. So you have to follow the sadhu and shastra and guru. Just like you go on a road and drive, everything is not okay. If you are somehow or the other get away with it, that's another thing in the material world. But if police catches you, cop catches you and give a ticket, you have no choice. You have to pay the fine. You have to get the reaction. So that's how. But in the material world, you can get away with many things. Maybe you can pay money and then you can get away. But uh, in the injunctions of Shastra and Sadhu and Guru, there is no way you can bypass. You can hide. You can get away easily. You can't get away, not even easily. Karmana daivanetira jantor devopote. It is everything is ordained by the Lord. Will of the providence. Yamaraj is watching. Everything is noted down. Nothing you can hide. It's not tax evasion. You can't get away with anything. So everything is recorded. But only when you start performing devotional service, then your sinful activities can be removed, become zero. But after gradual performing of devotional act, not immediately one day, it requires a lot of service. To the degree you perform, to that degree, that much amount you should perform devotional service. Then it will become to zero. Otherwise, it takes a lot of time because so many lifetimes we have committed so many things. coming back to this, yes, Amoga has performed like this. He has done. He used his all kinds of language against Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then the Sarvam Bhattacharya make him run away. He took a stick, and then he started crying, and then the Sarvam Bhattacharya such an extent he told, and you are not my son-in-law anymore. I relinquished you. So you're not my son-in-law anymore. Even his wife also told the same thing. Don't come to a home. And immediately the reaction, even though Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't say anything, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rather said, "What is your fault? It is not your fault. That is his fault. So that he didn't behave properly. So, but what did he said wrong? I am a sannyasi. I am not supposed to eat this much. So what is so nothing wrong? He said everything what he said is right. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching a lesson. So then when he left, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left immediately that day night. He got cholera. So Amoga got immediate reaction because especially when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya took it as an offensive. When a devotee takes it as an offense, when a spiritual master takes it as an offense, the reaction will be right away. Lord will never like it. Immediate reaction will be there. So he got cholera, is about to die. Then Gopinath Acharya, who is the brother-in-law, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, what's happening? Then he told the story. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and his wife is crying like anything. They are not able to sleep. But not only that, his son-in-law is very sick, is about to leave. Is going to die. Then immediately Mahaprabhu, this is the same mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood is carried by Prahlad Maharaj, also very compassionate to even demoniacs, very compassionate to teachers, Sandani, very compassionate to his own father, even though so demoniac is ready to kill him. When Hiranyakashipu was ready to put him in under the snakes, under the elephant, throw him from the mountain, anything he was doing, he was not moving an inch. When he heard that, go and put him under this particular thing, he was listening. He was not saying a word. He was laughing. He was not fearful at all. That is the situation. That is the characteristic of Prahlad Maharaj. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was listening hundreds of times about Prahlad Maharaj. If one wants to perfect his life and go back to Godhead, then one must read this pastime, Prahlad Charita and Dhruva Maharaj, Canto 4 and Canto 7, again and again. Again and again. Uh, then we'll be able to become at least some point, some drops of mercy will get like from Prahlad Maharaj. So Prahlad Maharaj was like that, so much tolerant, so much compassionate, so merciful, so much cultured. Is a perfect devotee. Prabhupada always is the best of the best, best of the devotees, Prahlad Maharaj. So that's why we have to learn and we have to be trained by Prahlad Maharaj by following his instructions in this from Canto 7. Then we can get the mercy of Prahlad Maharaj. Then you can get a mercy of Lord Narasimha. Otherwise, there is no possibility of getting Lord Narasimha. First, you have to get from his representative. Then you can get the mercy of Lord Narasimha. Otherwise, there is no possibility. So, in the case of Amoga, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rushed to his house because he immediately became, because Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's son-in-law, his relative. So he immediately came to the house and then he told him, now you chant. Why did you allow your heart as a Brahmana? You are supposed to be sattvic, you are supposed to be cultured, you are supposed to follow the principles. But why did you allow all these unwanted things in your heart? So you start chanting now. Then he induces him to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So then when he induces him to chant, immediately his cholera got cured, and then he started developing loving symptoms, exchanges, ecstatic symptoms he started developing. His cholera got cured, but also he got the mercy because Gopinath Acharya is a great devotee. Before even Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Gopinath Acharya is very much devoted to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So through him, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya became a devotee. Through both of them, then this Amoga also got the mercy. That's why unless one is recognized by his devotee of the Lord, unless one who receives a glance of a devotee of the Lord, unless one receives the prayers and blessings of a devotee of the Lord, we cannot become perfect in our devotions. We cannot get the real happiness. However, we may try in material world through opulence, through beauty, through scholarship, so many ways we may acquire, but there is no possibility of getting actual permanent happiness, permanent peace in the heart. There is no possibility. The only way we can is by getting this mercy, these blessings from the devotee of the Lord. So that's what here we can see. Prahlad Maharaj, so many instructions, so many angles. I can speak on Prahlad Maharaj. So then going back to the Prahlad Maharaj story, Hiranyakashipu started giving chastisement and then telling Sanda and Amar, what did you do when I sent my boy to your school? This is what you do. Why did you taught him to be a devotee of Lord Vishnu? Then they came, they presented him. Here we tried again. We taught him again all the demoniac and how to be a great king. Prahlad, this is another beautiful thing in Lord Narasimha's pastime. Is this is the one unique pastime where Lord himself personally put his hands and gave blessings to Prahlad Maharaj. Not only that, he massaged. He was putting on his head and he was massaging Prahlad Maharaj's head. Narasimhadev, half man, half lion, he appeared so ferocious, so angry. No one could appease the Lord. Neither Lord Brahma, nor Lakshmi Dev, nor Lord Shiva, none of the demigod. No one even coming close to the Lord Narasimhadev. No, they all offered prayers. In all the past time, you will see that generally they all combinedly offer. But in this case, they all offered their own prayers. But what was the mood? You have to look at carefully when you look at the prayers. Everybody was trying to give their problem. Because of Hiranyakashipu, we had this problem. Lord Brahma was telling. Because of Hiranyakashipu, I have this problem. Indra was telling. Like this, all the demigods are telling their problem. But what did Prahlad Maharaj said? Prahlad Maharaj never said of any problem from his side. So this is what devotion service means. Not always telling, oh Lord, I have this problem. Can you give me this? No, this is not real devotion. Real devotion service is how I can please you, my Lord. What can I please with? What kind of service I can do? When you go to spiritual master, also the sages, the sadhus, this is what you are supposed to ask. This is what you are supposed to do. How to please? How to serve? How can I please? This is the mood. This is the consciousness Prahlad Maharaj is teaching. So that's why none of them could appease the Lord, but only Prahlad Maharaj could go close. He was not afraid at all, because why will they afraid? If he's going, somebody is going to grandfather or father, why will you afraid? If he has love, he will not be afraid. So Prahlad Maharaj has a real, genuine love, was very submissive to his spiritual master. He was completely fearful because he has the protection of his spiritual master. He got the greatest blessing of spiritual master. So that's why he was not afraid at all. So he was fearless completely. So that's why he went ahead and he prayed, he offered his prayers. But he is submitting always, I am at the lowest. Brahma, Daya, Suragana, Munaya, Siddha, Sattva, Ekatana, Gataya, Munaya, Vachasam, Pravahi, Arajanam, Puru Gunair, Odanapi Pipru. So you are all greatly qualified, greatest demigod. I am son of a demon. What qualities I have? So, but since you are telling me to go in front of the Lord, I will go. So that's how much he is submitting. So low position he is taking. Always so many points you are learning from Prahlad Maharaj. How to be humble, how to be cultured, how to be a best student, how to be a best father, how to be a better king. Hiranyakashipu thought, Hiranyakashipu wants to make Prahlad Maharaj a king, king of demons, not devotee, king of demons. But Narasimha thought opposite. Since Hiranyakashipu thought to make Prahlad Maharaj king, then Lord Narasimha made Prahlad Maharaj the greatest king. Even he didn't want to become a king. But Lord Narasimha want to make Prahlad Maharaj the king. So he became, obviously, Prahlad Maharaj the king later on. And he married also. He has son of Virochana and Virochana son of Bali Maharaj. His dynasty is there. Anyway, when Hiranyakashipu was so agitated, so angry, he couldn't do anything. He couldn't kill him, he couldn't do anything, he couldn't make him not utter Lord Vishnu's name. Then he became so upset and so angry to such an extent that he want right away jump on him and kill him somehow or the other. Then he was so angry, his whole body is trembling, his what do you call, teeth was shaking. So and then he put a fist and he took a club and he hit the column, and then he told, is your lord there, is your lord there? Then immediately Prahlad Maharaj said, yes, he's there everywhere, he's there also in this pillar. Then immediately Lord Narasimha appeared right in front of Prahlad Maharaj. And Hiranyakashipu couldn't recognize because Lord appeared as half man, half lion. He couldn't recognize who is this personality because he first of all he doesn't have a faith on the Lord, so he couldn't even recognize. So there, beautiful verse is there. Satyam Vedatum Nijavritya Vasitam Vyaptin Cha Bhuteshu Akileshu Cha Atmana Ati Adbhuta Rupam Stambhe Sabhayam Namrugam Namanusham. So to make the words of his pure devotee, Satyam Vedatum Nijavritya Vasitam. Nijavritya Vasitam means eternal, submissive, the topmost, the best devotee of the Lord, Prahlad Maharaj. Satyam Vedatum Nijavritya Vasitam. To make his words perfect, true, Lord appeared from that column. Satyam Vedatam Nijavritya Vasam. Vyaptincha Bhudeshu Akileshu Atmana. Lord is anyway there in every atom, every living entity, his heart as Paramatma. Akileshu Atmana. Stambhe Sabhayam is situated in the Stambha. Obviously, every atom is there, in Stambha also is there. Stambhe Sabhayam Namrugam Namanusham. So neither he is a, because Hiranyakashipu has so many blessings. You want to become immortal. Lord Brahma said, I myself is not immortal. What can I give you? But you ask. Then he asked, what will the, then he asked for human beings. I cannot be killed by animal. I cannot be like this. So many things. So exactly following all those things, Lord Narasimha appeared half man as half lion. He didn't use any weapons. He killed with his nails, and he didn't kill at the daytime or night time. He killed at the dusk. That's why there's a fasting till dusk. And also, if you look at the Lord Narasimha picture there, but in this picture it is not there. There's another picture where Lord Narasimha is putting Hiranyakashipu on the lap when he killed on the at the, not in the inside the house, not outside the house, in the middle of the house, and at the door of the house, at the entrance of the door of the house. That's where he was sitting, Narasimha, and he putting Hiranyakashipu in the middle. Then not only that, nobody offered garland. We are supposed to offer a garland for a, as for pure devotee of the Lord, for the Lord. Every day we are supposed to offer. So when Lord Narasimha appeared, nobody offered garland. And then first thing he did, Lord Narasimha did is he took all after killing Hiranyakashipu and took out all his intestines and everything. He put him as a garland. So himself. Not only that, then he was searching. Where is the heart? He was searching in Hiranyakashipu's chest into the heart. This is my place. This is my place. Why did you? He is asking Hiranyakashipu, why did you allow this lust, anger, greed, envy, jealousy, all these six anarthas in the heart? This is my place. This is a place where I sit. Why did you allow this? These things to be entered into your heart. So rather your heart supposed to be clean, but rather you allowed all these anarthas to be situated. Anarthas, you gave a place rather than allowing the Lord pure devotion. So in this way, Lord Narasimha gave many instructions in this way as well. Prahlad Maharaj gave many instructions how to be compassionate. You look at from various angles. As a student, you can look at various angles. As a parent, as a father, father and son, how to behave. So how to receive the blessings of the devotees. So how to be submissive. So how to be compassionate. So all so many different angles you will see from this pastime, Prahlad Maharaj and Narsingh Dev's pastime. We'll stop here. What is the time? I know 9 already. But any questions? Any of you has questions, comments? Yes. Yes, Subramanian. Yeah. No, that is not the, that's not the, for a bird it is okay. Bird is not, he is not a human being. Right? Garuda is a bird. For bird, his food is to eat snakes. This, yeah, for Garuda, no problem. For birds, no problem. For animals, no problem. Only for human beings, there are four regulative principles. For all other, so no problem. It is natural for them. They are not getting any sinful activity. So in this case of Garuda, Garuda is special bird, so he can eat, no problem. So, but he obstructed him from doing that. So he was thinking it's not out of, is actually of compassion rather. He's not out. He didn't obstruct him not out of compassion. He was thinking, I am a great yogi, I can obstruct. Not only he did that, he did also with that snake, Kaliya. He gave a shelter to Kaliya when he approached there. And this Garuda is, because he was very much, Garuda is very powerful. So he was fearful. Then he approached Saubhara. Then Saubhara said, don't worry, I'm a great yogi, I can, send him away. So that's what he thought, I'm doing a great activity. But he didn't realize how offensive it is to what is the position of Garuda. So that's many times, that is also another instruction. Good question. Another instruction is, we generally think mind is always telling you're already great devotee, you're already, you're senior, you have, all these good qualities. Mind is telling us that you are already in this position. No, but we shouldn't go by mind's words. That is the problem. Subramanian also thought, I am the greatest yogi, I can do. What is the problem? I can instruct him. No, you have that's why there is a also another instruction. There is adhikar who will know. Your spiritual master will know what adhikar, what qualification you have. Because otherwise, you could be reading so many books. Like Prabhupada has used almost 10 or 11 acharyas commentaries, and then he has translated it. But Prabhupada reading all these commentaries, reading various books, and giving translation, because he is a pure devotee of the Lord and previous spiritual masters are guiding him. So that's why when he speaks even 15 minutes, when he speaks even one word, by simply hearing, one can get be purified. But we are not at that level. So that's why we have to know the adhikar, only spiritual master will know whether we are karma adhikar or jnana adhikar or bhakti adhikar, what adhikar we have, what tendencies we have, what proclivities we have. Now spiritual master and advanced devotees will know, and accordingly they will instruct, they will engage you, and then we have to follow those instructions. If we think that we are already qualified of this, qualified of that, then it's very difficult to actually engage in devotion, very difficult to progress, because we don't have power to calculate our qualification. In material, maybe you may have, but in spiritual progress, we don't have a qualification to understand what adhikar I have. That has to be judged by a spiritual master and advanced devotee. That cannot be judged by our own. So that has to be given. The instruction has to be given. That's why we have to consult always. Instruction has to be given by spiritual master and advanced devotee representative. Then the result will be there. If you take, because that's why it is mentioned, Krishna Shakti Nahi Vina Tare Pravartam. Unless you are empowered by the spiritual master, unless you are empowered by the Lord through his representative, there is no possibility of transformation. There is no possibility of progress. So that is Shastra, Sadhu, and Guru again and again speaking. So since you are asking one question, it leads to many other points. Anyway, another question. Go ahead. Yes. 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 Yeah. Good question. Shantakaram Bhujagasenam Padmanabham Suresham Viswakaram Gangana Sadrusam. What is the last line? I forgot. Megvarnam Subhangam. So Lord has so many responsibilities and he has so many rasas. Raso vai saha. So Narsingadev is also one of the. Why did he come in that form? Because many angles are there. Lord Narsingadev had to come in this specific form because Hiranyakashipu has done certain activities, he has taken certain wounds. To kill him, he has to come in that form. He has to be angry because Hiranyakashipu became so angry against his own devotee, than Prahlad Maharaj against his own devotee. So Lord Narsingadev has to come much more anger than what Hiranyakashipu showed to Prahlad. So that is why, first of all, he has come with anger. But he is not. Lord is never angry to. This is transcendental anger, by the way. It's not a material anger. Any quality Lord is showing or displaying in any incarnation, whether Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, Lord Narsinga, Buddha, Varaha, whatever the form, everything is transcendental. There is nothing material in Lord's quality. In material world, yes, the anger has, like Hanuman has displayed his anger, went and burned Lanka. That is transcendental because he used his anger to serve the Lord Ramachandra. So that is the quality of devotee. That is the Lord's quality. That is the devotee's quality. Ordinary material anger is not good, but it should be utilized for the Lord's service. Then it is fine. That is become transcendental. So in the case of Lord Narsingadev's anger because of Hiranyakashipu. He became angry. He has to appear in that specific form and he has to display that anger. But when Prahlad Maharaj approached, he is no more angry. He completely became so peaceful, so happy. He was hugging Prahlad Maharaj. He put him on the lap. Did we ever see in any incarnation? You will not see that Lord putting a devotee on the lap and massaging him with a hand. There is no other form. No other form you can read from Shastra. This is the only form Lord is showing. That's why when Prahlad Maharaj is there next to the Lord, then you should worship that particular form. Because then he is no more, even though he may be angry, like in Mayapur you'll see. But minute Prahlad Maharaj is there, you worship the Lord through him, then he has no anger anymore. Because you are pleasing Prahlad, then immediately he is pacified. So until otherwise he will be very angry in that mood because he is thinking how my devotee can be obstructed, how my devotee is being tortured. So I cannot allow this because Lord takes that very seriously. So that's what it is. Is that clear? Yeah. Another acharya is also say that Lord is Shanta, is peaceful, but he has so many obligations to perform because everybody is asking for different benediction. Even atheist is asking, different people are asking, oh Lord, give me this, I have this problem. Lord has to listen to so many millions and millions of living entities. So many obligations he has to look at, he has to hear and he has to attend to, he has to respond. But the devotee, Prahlad Maharaj, the pure devotee of the Lord, he is Prashanta. Lord is only Shanta, but in the case of devotee, he is Prashanta. He has no obligation. He is so peaceful. That's why Prahlad Maharaj is the best example for Prashanta. There is Prakrishta Rupena Ahlada. He is very, very peaceful. He is not agitated at all. He is completely very compassionate. So these all by the greatest blessings of Narada Muni. So that's why one must serve. One must serve his parents. As I was telling, we take it as ordinary. Parents, what is there? But no, actually, from parents also, children receive blessings. If they serve properly, at least I can take from my own example that how I became a devotee is my blessing from my father and my mother, my father and my grandfather. It is by their blessing. My grandfather used to be a devotee of the Lord Krishna. So they used to engage in devotion service. I was serving my grandfather and grandmother. I was massaging their feet and I was serving my mother, massaging their feet. So that helped actually. Always, even now, they give blessing because I have served. So when you serve the parents in a proper culture, proper way, then obviously there is a receives blessings. That Shastra is telling. Otherwise, what is the use of our education? There is no use. The Vidya Vinay Sampane Brahmane Gavihasana Sunuchev Sapake Pandita Samadarisana. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking Ramananda Rai, what is the topmost, what is the expert, what do you call the education? In Vidya, in education, what is the topmost? Then Ramananda Rai replies, the best education is one who is learning the transcendental science. He is the best, he is the best learned person, not ordinary material education only to get money, but actual real education means how to be cultured, how to be submissive, how to serve, how to properly behave. This is what supposed to be taught. Most of the times this is not being taught. How to get money, how to get job, this is being taught. So that's why the culture is so getting worse and worse, not only in India but everywhere throughout the world. This because culture, proper culture is not being taught in the schools. Unwanted things are coming up in the hearts of the students because they are not properly training. They themselves, the teachers themselves are not qualified. Themselves doesn't have proper consciousness. Then obviously the student who are hearing from also will get the same consciousness. So that is a problem right there. So that's why we have to choose the right, especially for spiritual knowledge, we have to choose the right teachers. Not anybody speaking about Krishna, but whether they are qualified, whether they have a spiritual master, whether they are coming from bona fide sampradaya, all these to be checked. It is not that in internet, Google, there are so many people who speaks today. Everybody is a guru, but you have to check the credential. Just like we check what this university is good or not. You ask different people, different students, what is the result? What did where did they end up? Which job they got? You look at all this spiritual things, even it's much more important. You don't just jump in and listen to anybody and everybody you hear, you see in the internet or you hear from somebody. Who is that somebody? What qualification he has to authorize? So that we have to look at. For spiritual subject, especially, you have to look at what sadhu, what Shastra is telling. Shastra is clearly telling. You have to hear from a bona fide sampradaya. You have to hear from a bona fide acharya who is representing previous acharyas. He's always thinking, I'm just a transparent via media. You have to listen from him. He is humble. He is practicing himself what he is speaking. Then you have to listen. Then there will be a transformation. Otherwise, you hear everything will be nice and great. But after that, when you go home, you will do the same thing. There is no change in your heart. Then what is the point of listening from that person? There is no point. So when you hear, then there should be a transformation in your heart. Then you know that you are hearing from a bona fide acharya, bona fide sampradaya, and a bona fide devotee. So achar and vichar both are very important. So yeah, thank you. Any other questions? Yes, let's. Yeah, every Lord has Lord Vishnu, different expansion, different forms, has 108 names. 1008, not even 108. So you have your own name, legal name. You have a nickname, maybe couple of them. Mother calls you something, father calls you something, grandfather calls you something. Yeah. So if you have, this is for us, for Lord, how can you not have 1000 names? You can have. Is there a problem with it? No. Yeah, that's right. Yes. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, Lord Narasimha is teaching one sense, as I mentioned, that um, how to how to take care of his devotees, how to serve his devotees. Lord is teaching, in this case of Prahlad, protecting his own child. So Prahlad Maharaj is being protected by so the Lord. So that is the first one. So that's why he appeared. More so, he was ready to give all benedictions. He is so compassionate. He was pacified. So that's what Lord Narsingadev is teaching basically. If you want to become peaceful and you want to actually become learned, you want to become cultured, you want to become compassionate, then you have to become like Prahlad Maharaj, you have to become like Lord Narsingdev's Bhakta. Because of his worship, indirect worship of Lord Narsingdev in his previous life, because of his devotee has given blessing, Narada Muni. So that's what we can learn. Lord Narsingdev's pastime is short in one sense. Lord Ramachandra and Lord Krishna's pastimes are much more elaborate. They lived also so long. Lord Narsingdev's pastime is only very quick pastime. He just appeared specifically to kill Hiranyakashipu, and then he went back rather. This happened in Satyuga, this happened in various millenniums also. There are different pastimes are narrated from Vishnu Puran, from Brahad Narsim Puran. In different places it is mentioned different way Lord fought with Hiranyakashipu. But it is short in to your question. From Lord Ramachandra, we can learn so many things. From Lord Krishna, we can learn so many things. From Lord Narsingdev, I think more so how is mercy. At the same time, is ferocious, but at the same time, is very merciful and compassionate to his devotee, and how Lord protects his devotee. How and also Lord Narsingdev helps us to actually remove all the anarthas. Why we worship Lord Narsingdev? Lord Krishna is always busy. He's always performing, performing pastimes with cowherd boys or with gopis, with his friends or with his lovers. So he's busy. So we approach Lord Narasimha, who can actually remove the obstacles on the path of bhakti, remove our fear while performing bhakti. So that's why we approach Lord Narasimha. We remove our offenses, so forgives our offenses. That's why we sing Narsinga bhajan at the end of the kirtan, at the end of the class. So this is the why. So that is also another. This is directly Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed. Prabhupada has given because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself has given the two verses in Chaitanya Charitamrita in Anta Lila. where this verses Sri Narasimha, Jai Narasimha, Prahlad is Jai Padma, Mukha Padma Vranga. Then Tavakara Kamala. These two verses are given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then Prabhupada has given specifically those two, and then also that Namaste Narasimha, that from another Purana. So this is so Prabhupada has given specifically because when he was sick, first time when he was sick in 1968 or 69, when he became sick in Long Branch, New Jersey. So then that time he told his disciples, now you chant Narsingh mantra that your spiritual master hasn't finished his instructions of his previous acharya. So that he can continue his life and to fulfill his instructions. Then that's how Prabhupada was brought back to. He's extended his life by devotees' prayers to Lord Narasimha. So that's why we chant Narasimha prayers. So there is another way to look at. So I think I have to think more if there are any other instructions, any lessons we can learn from. But more so, we learn from Prahlad Maharaj than Lord Narasimha in this case. Yeah.
Just clarifying,
yes.
Me if I'm wrong. You have to look at, you have to take Prahlad Maharaj's devotion to Lord Vishnu, and we should also take the fact that that with that devotion, the Lord also promises to protect his devotees.
Yes. Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes. When we are dependent on the Lord, then obviously He will protect. Like Draupadi's case, like Pandava's case, Prahlad Maharaj's case. You look at most of the examples because they are dependent on the mercy. Like Gajendra's case. 1,000 years fought. When he realized that I am dependent on the mercy of the Lord, I don't have a strength of my own, then the Lord will come. Till the point we are relying on somebody XYZ is going to protect me, my wealth or my property or my family or my extended family. Gajendra also thought, but none of them could save. Only Lord could save. So then Lord will come. So he'll wait till last minute. So when you really dependent on him, then right, child may become angry and cry and all. Mother will know exactly. He's crying for real thing or he's just doing some just for fun drama. The only mother will know. The Lord also will know exactly when you are really crying, really want me, or want something else. When he knows that exactly really you want me, then that's when the Lord will come. That's when Lord will protect. That's what. That's how we know. Yeah. Prahlad Maharaj is such a genuine devotee, so that's why Lord has to appear. He appeared right away. He took the as he said, he is there in the column and immediately right away appeared. So, yeah. Any other questions, comments? Mataji's anything? Everybody slept. I think my my discourse looks like everybody. Good. Yeah. Any question? No. Anybody else? Okay. I think we'll stop with one prayer of Lord Narasimha. ओम नमो भगवते नरसिंहाय नमस्तेजस्तेजसे आविर्भाव वज्रणकवचंश्र कर्मासेन रंदे रंदे तमो ग्रस ग्रस ओम स्वाहा अभयम अभयम आत्मनि भूयिष्ठ ओम क्षम नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय भक्त